Well, good morning from Disney's Magic Kingdom, a park we definitely don't spend enough time at, especially during the summer, mostly because, well, getting here can be a bit much in the heat. I mean, at least if you're not staying at a Walt Disney World Resort hotel. That parking lot situation, I mean, it's not even necessarily the getting here, it's the going home. But nonetheless, we're here today and we have so much to talk about. Obviously, Cool Kid Summer still happening here at Walt Disney World. So we have to see what's going on here at Magic Kingdom, see if we qualify as a cool kid. I mean, personally, I think we're all cool kids, at least in here, you know, but we'll see, we'll see. There's also so much else going on here at Magic Kingdom. There's new merchandise over at Haunted Mansion, so we have to check that out. The Emporium is done from what I've heard, so we're gonna go take a look at the finished product over there. I know we've talked about it kind of on and off now and again. And the Liberty Bell and Tom Sawyer Island, off the map. They're done. They've had their final run yesterday for me, but it was like a couple of days ago, depending on when you're watching this. So yeah, let's go have a day. I think we'll also get in a few other updates that we happen to stumble upon, like the work that's happening over on the train station here at the end of Main Street. There's so much else happening all around Walt Disney World, so we'll take a look and I'll point it out as we see it today. But the first stop is the Emporium. I have been heavily critical of the updates happening here at the Emporium, but we haven't seen the finished product. So we're gonna take a look today. Obviously, you can see we have the registers. They added a bunch of them over here, which is good because from what I saw, they removed registers elsewhere. And I've got some thoughts on that, but let's make our way all the way through the Emporium and see what we think. You know, I don't want to cast judgment too soon, even though I've definitely done that during our previous visits. What can I say? I reserve the right to have opinions. Oh, check this out. This looks new. Or at least this is the first time I've seen this color. I kind of like that. Let's see, $80. This isn't a shopping video, so we're just gonna breeze past things, but I need to point things out that I think are cute. Like this snack bag, I like that. $80 for that as well. All right, so over here, it looks like they removed the registers. They seem to have consolidated all of the registers into one or maybe two spots here in the Emporium, which I'm not sure how I feel about that because I haven't like seen it in practice yet. I feel personally like it's gonna cause longer lines at the registers as opposed to letting people kind of spread out, but I don't know. They definitely opened things up in here though. As you can see, things are much more spread out, which is nice, at least on the surface. Oh, check it out. A Roosevelt Haunted Mansion shirt. I don't know how I feel about it. I'm kind of particular about my Haunted Mansion stuff. And I don't know. I don't know if this is for me. Let me know your thoughts though. This one is free. No, $75 for that shirt. I do have at least one Roosevelt shirt. It's a bluey shirt and I love it. Russ has a couple. We don't wear them as often as we'd like to. They are nice, but they are pricey. All right, let's take a look over here. This used to be another register, but it was never open, like very rarely open, so kind of glad to see that they removed that. But I am happy to see that they kept the theming of this room, like they didn't completely remove everything, you know? So that's good. And then of course, if we come this direction, we're gonna see more what we've been looking at a lot because this is like the first space to have opened up. So we've checked this out extensively. Definitely bigger feeling and more open. And there are some registers over here. It looks like they kept a few of these and then they have those few registers over there. So there it is. One thing checked off our list. I don't know how I feel about the change as of yet, mainly because we don't know like how it actually works. You know, I haven't been here during fireworks time to actually see if this was any type of improvement, but it does seem like they consolidated the registers down, so you know, we'll see. We'll see. Maybe we'll pop in on our way out when it's a little bit more crowded and see what it looks like when there are more people here. Because it is currently first thing in the morning. Wouldn't be a Disney day without the sound of construction happening in the background. I don't know if you could have heard that. Maybe you did, maybe you didn't. Anyway, let's make our way this direction and get our day started with something I'm sure so many of you are wondering about: the Liberty Bell, Rivers of America, Tom Sawyer Island, and what that whole area looks like now that those two attractions are officially closed. Now, put your guesses in. I'm curious to see if they actually have construction walls up yet, because sometimes they're really quick about it, but also it just closed yesterday. So who knows, you know, but either way, we're gonna check it out. All right, so before we make our way all the way over to Liberty Square, Frontierland area, these two attractions, Tom Sawyer Island as well as the riverboat over on the Rivers of America, these are two attractions that are very near and dear to many. We've talked about them multiple times, and I'm sure if you're a fan of everything Disney, you've probably heard some of the heated debates around these attractions, specifically around getting rid of these two attractions. Now, I'm gonna sit here and tell you straight up, I've said this before, I think that they were both great. I think that they were built for a very specific moment in time, a very specific audience, but times change and things need to be updated and things need to change with the times. And here at Walt Disney World, I mean, I'm not gonna make any friends with this, but this is not a museum. This is a theme park. And while there are certain things that stick around for a long time and they hold up over the years, these two attractions, they weren't on that list. And you could see this with the number of people that visited these attractions. You could see this with the way that they were sent off. It was far from what we saw for other attractions that had their final run, like Splash Mountain or Muppet Vision 3D. And I think that that says a lot, but also, I'm not gonna have that conversation today. So that being said, this whole area is being updated. We've talked about this before as well. We're gonna get a Cars attraction, or at least a Cars area. Villains Land is coming. That's gonna be taking up part of this space as well. And that's something a lot of people are excited for. I am too. I know I might be a little bit optimistic here, and it's hard to be optimistic when we talk about things that Disney has done recently, but you know what? I'm gonna choose to have a glass half full with this one, and we've got a lot of time to see what Disney does, like years. So anyway, let's go take a look at what's going on over there. Just about passing Pirates of the Caribbean right now, and I can see the construction walls are still up for the Pirate Tavern that is on the way. Very empty today, which means low wait times, 5 minutes for Pirates. We're doing it. It's always nice to be able to just jump on an attraction, and I don't get to do that all that often. There's always these other things that I'm trying to talk to you guys about, so I tend to skip right past things like Pirates. Also, more often than not, the lines have been pretty crazy, which is one of the reasons that we had the conversation that we had the other day about how crowded Walt Disney World feels. And you know, some of you agree, as you might expect, but others seem to feel like I'm completely off base here because attendance is down at Walt Disney World. And to those of you who feel that way, I hear you and you're not wrong, but if you go back and listen to what I was saying, you might pick up that I'm talking about how even with limited attendance, even with less people here, it feels more crowded because there are less things to do, less places for guests who are here to go. So that's kind of the point I was getting at. But also, you know, there are always going to be highs and lows. Today, at least so far, seems like kind of an off time. It's a Monday, which usually is a more crowded day here at Magic Kingdom, but it's the day after the 4th of July weekend, so it's a travel day, you know? So we might get lucky with a few attractions, actually. We'll just have to wait and see how it goes. Not gonna do Tiana's Bayou Adventure today. Just not in the mood to get wet, at least not yet. And of course, Big Thunder is down for refurb and will be down for the remainder of the year. But like I said, I wanna get eyes on this area here because this is now the area where you'll find two closed attractions. Tom Sawyer Island and the riverboat. Now, at least right now, it doesn't look like they've done much. There are construction walls around the entrance that lead to the dock that go to Tom Sawyer Island. You can see them right here at the end of the bridge, right there. But, you know, it all looks kind of the same, except for those construction crews. See all of those vests? They seem to be getting right to work here, which is exciting. It's exciting stuff. Speaking of exciting, there's another thing that opened up here in Frontierland that I want to go check out. It's a shop that used to be here and that was closed. We talked about this when we talked about crowding the other day. It's called the Prairie Outpost and Supply. Sorry, I didn't have the whole name ready to go, but it's right here. It used to be a candy shop, but apparently now they sell hats. So let's take a look inside and see what they've got. Do we need a hat? We might need a hat. Hi. All right, so they've got a lot of great hats in there, lots of different styles, and you can even customize your own hat. But I just want to take a second to say wow for the cast members who are working in that shop. That's what a shopping experience at Walt Disney World should be like. Felt like I was transported to a completely different place and time. That's how it's done. All right, so I just pulled off over here. I don't know how well you're gonna be able to see this, but I wanna take a look at the wait times and let you guys know what it looks like here. It looks like the longest two wait times are Peter Pan at 30 minutes and Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. It's moving so quickly, so I'm trying to read it off. Seven Dwarfs at 45. But Haunted Mansion is a walk-on, so let's do that next. Of course, taking a look at this area along the way. Do have more work happening over there. Getting right to work. I am always so glad to see that. I feel like there's nothing worse. Oh, construction door. I feel like there's nothing worse than when something closes and there's no movement on it for like ever. So that's definitely not what's happening here at Magic Kingdom, which is great. You can get a look at some more of the construction that's happening back on Big Thunder from the queue here. And then of course, more construction happening over on Tom Sawyer Island. Lots happening here at Magic Kingdom today, lots going on.
Playful spooks have interrupted our tour. Please remain seated in your doom bucket.
All right, so that was a lot of fun. I love the Haunted Mansion. It's just a fun attraction, right? Plus, we got out of the sun, got some AC, which was great, and the vibe was like spot on in there today. There were also a lot of first-time visitors in the group, and I don't know about you, but there's nothing better than riding an attraction, or honestly just being at Walt Disney World with first-timers. There's something about it. It's special. But anyway, before we move on, I wanted to take a second and look at our Cool Kids Summer little map here, little pamphlet. Now, for those of you who haven't watched our other Cool Kids Summer videos, this is an activity, or an offering, I should say, that's happening here at Walt Disney World at all four of the theme parks, as well as the water parks, running from now through September 1st. There are some special things going on, a little bit more when it comes to character meet and greets, and some special activities that have been popping up here and there. But each one of the parks has this like pamphlet, and in the pamphlet it has information about the park and what's going on for Cool Kids Summer. If you open it all the way up too, you'll see a map of the park that's like perfect for the kids in your family, so it's definitely worth grabbing one of these. But I want to take a quick look and see what's happening here for Cool Kids Summer. So of course we have like a list of what's just happening around the park, nothing necessarily special, or I don't know if I should say that, nothing that is out of the ordinary. It's just posted here so that you can know what's available. It looks like we have the cavalcades mentioned and the fireworks that happen in the evening, and there are some tips for adults in here as well, things like where the child care center is and whatnot, or the baby care center, I should say. I always mess that up. We've got a list of characters that you can meet, and it tells you where you can find them. And then we have the Pirate's Adventure, which is a normal offering, and the Smeltons on Parade. What time is it? Oh, it's 10 o'clock. That's also listed here as well. Now, as far as Cool Kids Summer specific activities, it looks like there are only 2 listed here in this map. Over in Fantasyland, there's the Big Top Bash, which is a DJ dance party with pop-up silliness with Pluto and games. Hold on, I read that a little bit weird. So it's pop-up silliness with Pluto and games. It also says that there are even more hands-on activities inside Big Top Souvenirs, so we're gonna have to go check that out next. And then in Tomorrowland, there's the Galactic Blast, which is a space-inspired DJ party with surprise appearances by Stitch. And it says, visit Merchant of Venus, which is, well, it used to be a gift shop. Now it's kind of like a seating area for Anti-Gravity's ice cream shop. We'll go check it out. I'll show you where it is. For an indoor craft inspired by the new Disney Pixar film, Elio. So we're gonna have to go check that out as well, but only 2 things available, at least that are listed here. I also think it's worth mentioning that there have been some other things that have popped up around the parks and around the resorts. So just because it's listed here doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be available, because everything is limited and you know how that goes. But it also doesn't necessarily mean that this is the only thing that's available. So keep your eye out. But all right, I'm gonna put this in my bag, tuck it away, and while I do, and take a sip of my drink because you gotta stay hydrated, I also want to remind you that the Hall of Presidents is back up. It did go down for regular maintenance, and by regular maintenance I mean when we have a new president take office, the Hall of Presidents goes down for an extended amount of time so that the new president can take their position front and center and the previous president can join the lineup of former presidents. I do want to check it out, but I don't think we're gonna do it necessarily today. Maybe we'll do it on our way out, you know, because it is like a 20-minute long show. So maybe we'll pop in there and see what it's like now that it's changed out. That's also a great place to cool off for a bit, you know, but there are so many other things that I want to look at today. So we may or may not get to that, you know, put a pin in it. But for now, let's make our way to Big Top Souvenirs and check out those activities and see if the DJ dance party is happening. It's a little early, so it might not be, but we can still look. All right, one more sip and then we're out of here. I've also been noticing a lot of characters just wandering around. While we were sitting at Pinocchio's village house, Flynn Rider and Rapunzel were chilling with the kids, just kind of being there, hanging out, having fun. And I absolutely love that. This is something that we see elsewhere at Disney parks around the country and around the world. But here at Walt Disney World, they seem to shy away from it, which is disappointing, you know? But it seems like in recent years, they've been introducing it here and there, which I absolutely love. You know, this is a place where the characters live, you know? I mean, I've always felt that way. And it's nice to just stumble into them, you know, without having to be like, oh, we need to plan it and get in line and all that, you know? So even if you can't have like a huge one-on-one experience, even just seeing them kind of dancing around or bopping around in the wild, I like that. So I hope that this sticks around beyond Cool Kids Summer and beyond the 50th, which is when they first kind of crept into this, in recent years, that is. Anyway, let's go. Oh, here's another thing that's worth mentioning. PhotoPass photographers now have umbrellas. Wow, that took way too long to do. And of course, it's not every PhotoPass photographer in every station. That's not necessarily going to be reasonable because some of them float around, but in very specific spots where there's always a PhotoPass photographer like stationed right there, this is a no-brainer. I am so glad that Disney finally realized that this is Florida, you know? Oh, a stilt walker over there. We'll check that out here in a second, but let's pop into Big Top Souvenirs. It smells heavenly in here. It smells of cotton candy and sugar and deliciousness, all the things that bring me joy. We're not gonna get anything today though. We will look at what they've got. Oh, a strawberry butter bar. That's new. Of course I have strawberries in my bag, like fresh strawberries. So I don't really need a butter bar. Also, we have some activities right here on tables that say Big Top Bash. That's cool. Mickey Mouse Clubhouse coloring activity. That's really awesome. I love that. Also, it looks like all of these tables have this activity as well, which is great because I saw something posted a couple weeks ago about how this whole area was filled with like outdoor tables and it looked terrible, but they've obviously since updated that, which is great. I love that. Also, there should be more seating in here all the time. There used to be. I think that was like a pre-COVID thing. You could like grab a snack and eat here in the big top, but they seem to have eliminated that, and hopefully it's coming back because this is a great spot and perfect for kids too. You exit Pete's Silly Sideshow here into this space, so having a place to escape the heat for a few more minutes is perfect. Check it out. It looks like there are signs for the Big Top Bash, which is happening out that direction. We're gonna see that in a second. But let's take a quick look this way for music, marvels, and a mini midway. Huh, okay. Let's go see what they got going on. Of course, we got Pete's Silly Sideshow right here. That's a character meet and greet. And then, yeah, under the big top, we've got some activities going on. Check that out.
I like that dress.
We've got bubbles. That's awesome. I love that. And it's in a covered area. We've got a photo op over there. You know, this is the type of thing that I know it doesn't appeal to everyone. In fact, when we were talking about the Cool Kids Summer offerings a little while ago, I know that a few of you were like, it needs to be more than a dance party for it to be a draw for me. And I hear that, I totally get that, but sometimes it's simple things like this that really appeal to the youngest among us. And even though it's not like a super duper epic thing that would necessarily draw you to a place like Walt Disney World, having that here, it's a nice little change of pace from a somewhat hectic Disney day. Plus, one thing that I think gets kind of lost in the craziness of day-to-day life is just those moments to play and just hang out. I talk about this every now and again, but I honestly can't say it enough. There are things that your kids, they want to do, they want to experience, and yes, you absolutely could do them and experience them at home, but life is hectic, you know? You don't always get a chance to go to the playground. So when they're on vacation, they're really looking forward to going to the playground. You don't always opt to buy the $10 hula hoop, you know? But here they can play with that thing that, who knows if they've ever touched a hula hoop nowadays. This is 2025, right? Do kids even know what hula hoops are? So giving kids the opportunity to experience something that is familiar, but something that they don't get to do all the time, or unfamiliar, even though it's super simple, that's a good thing, you know? I mean, think about how many guys come here and you're like, I just want my coffee, I just want my margarita, right? You can get that at home. Kids have those things too. And giving them the opportunity to have and enjoy those things, that's what makes the memories. Like, obviously I'm not gonna turn you around right now, but I just kind of turn this direction and I'm watching these kids run around in the splash pad, and it's the simplest thing, but it's special, you know? Those are the memories. Those are those things they're gonna take away and look forward to coming back to Walt Disney World for. Not necessarily the viral snack that they tried or the fact that they got on absolutely every attraction. You know, that might be some kids' thing, but you'd be amazed how special and memorable the simple things are. So anyway, that's just your reminder to not breeze past them, you know? I mean, goodness, life's too short and kids grow up way too fast. So definitely no need to rush it. All right, our next order of business is the former smoking section here in Tomorrowland. It is no longer a smoking section, but it is a nice place to sit in the shade for a second. So that's what we're gonna do. Sit in the shade, have a snack, and then head over to the little activity here. There's actually supposed to be a DJ like right here, just beyond those trees. So we'll go check that out here in a second and check out the indoor activity over at the place next to Anti-Gravity's. But first, a temperature check. Currently 90 degrees here in the shade, which honestly isn't too bad. I am kind of, you know, glistening, as some might say, but it's because it's very humid out. Also, I have a new snack container. Check this out. I got this because I've been seeing a ton of parents with these. They have a little clip that they put on this handle and they just hang it from their stroller. And I was like, I feel like that is so practical and so nice. We have 2 containers here where you can put snacks like this. Isn't that great? And I think this is only like 10 bucks. Whether or not I recommend this, I don't know. We'll have to see. This is only my first day out with it, but I was like, you know what, let's try it out. And I always bring food to the parks, so having a snack container like this just, it made sense, you know? But anyway, I'm gonna have some strawberries. Remember the strawberries I told you about not too long ago? Maybe some apples, a little bit of a drink, and then we'll pop on over to the activities and see what's going on.
A few moments later.
Man, I love strawberries. They are just delicious. Anyway, here we are at the stage where the dance party is supposed to be taking place. And we can see that obviously they're set up for a dance party. We just missed it, or it hasn't happened yet. Either way, no big deal. This is where that dance party is gonna be. Oh, but I totally forgot. There's something that happened right behind you that I haven't mentioned. They removed the cool ship. Remember there was like a whole food hut right here with a spaceship on top of it. It's gone, which is way too bad. It was a nice place to kind of cool off because they did have some mist. Anyway, we're just gonna keep moving toward Merchants of Venus, or Merchant of Venus. I want to show you where that is, and we'll take a look at what the activity is. So you can see, this is the entrance of Tomorrowland, kind of from the hub, the spoke, if you will. That is Tomorrowland. And we have anti-gravities and Star Traders over that direction. But right here is Merchant of Venus. And this is where we're gonna find that other cool kid summer activity. So let's pop in and see what we're looking at. I don't see anything. Let's ask this cast member. Hi, is there an activity here for cool kid summer activity?
Yeah, it's you send a postcard up to space.
That's so cool.
You come and decorate it, and then we'll send it up to space once you're done.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, so I don't know if you heard that cast member, but we've got ourselves a postcard here, and we've got a sticker sheet, and we can use these stickers to decorate this postcard and then give it back to her, and it'll get sent to space, which is so cool. This is also in celebration of the new movie that is coming out. Russ and I definitely want to see this. We haven't had a chance to yet. So it looks like we can fill in the blank. I am blank to go to space. I can't wait to blank. And here are options. What would you put? I am nervous, stoked, excited, ready, thrilled, not quite ready. While I am an adventurous person, space and the bottom of the ocean, both places I have no desire to go. Anyway, what can't we wait to do? Let's see what our options are. Fly super fast in a rocket, meet awesome aliens, be weightless in 0G, tell my friends about it, watch from a telescope. Well, definitely tell my friends about it. I mean, if I am going to space, I'm taking you guys with me. We're vlogging that. Okay, so the instructions say that once we decorate our postcard and get it scanned, it'll get a postmark from space. So we have to do this. I have decided that I am stoked to go to space because, I mean, what are we even doing if we're not stoked to do something new? And I told you I need to tell my friends about it, so let's put that here. Oh, it's not quite straight, but I'm doing my best. And let's put these stickers on. All right, we finished. Now let's go get this scanned and send it to space.
All right, just place your postcard right in here.
All right.
You're gonna place it all the way inside that insert. And you're gonna press this blue button for me and close your eyes and make a wish.
All right.
All right, looks like we need a little extra outer space magic. All right. boyfriend. It looks like they got your letter.
Awesome, thank you so much.
Welcome.
All right, it's a little hard to see, but if you look close, you can see our letter has been postmarked. It made it to space. How cool is that? You know, that's another one of those like simple but effective things. You know, it not only promotes a movie, but it brings a little bit of extra magic to a Disney day, especially for little ones, and it adds to the storytelling of the land. I love it. I love this type of thing. Oh, also, we're standing in Tomorrowland Terrace, which is an area we talked about the other day with the crowding. Let me give you a look around at this air-conditioned space. None of this is accessible at the moment, though we could go up here if we wanted to. It is so cool, like crispy, cool, air-conditioned in here right now. This is a basically an abandoned counter service restaurant. Also, I'm sorry if I feel like I'm like harping on this particular topic. I'm not intending to. It's just we're wandering around Magic Kingdom today, and I've got things that I'm thinking about, and we haven't been to Magic Kingdom for what feels like forever. So as I see things that make sense to previous conversations that we've been having, I feel like I want to point them out to you, you know? Anyway, let's make our way out of the park. We're gonna pop into this store. We're gonna make our way down toward the entrance, catch some AC on our way, and see if we find any other merch that catches our attention. Sound good? Also, I have made the decision that we are not going to do the Hall of Presidents today. I don't feel like making my way all the way over there, so we'll come back for that. And I know some of you have burning questions about the Hall of Presidents. You're just gonna have to wait. Oh, check this out. That's kind of cute. What does the front look like? It's hard to see. I like that. Will I like the price? Let's find out. It's kind of like a light sweatshirt. It is $69.99. It's like that French terry. It's not really a sweatshirt. I guess you might be able to describe it as a sweatshirt. But lightweight, good for Florida. A little expensive at 70 bucks. At least that's my opinion. We have tank top here. Oh, and a backpack. Check this out. Interesting. It does say Florida on it. Very interesting. New design we have here. $40 for this backpack. Cute. I like that. I kind of like this whole set, honestly. Feels new while also feeling kind of retro. You know what I mean? All right, well, we've made our way back to the monorail so that we can head back to the TTC, so we can head back to the Jeep and wrap up our day. But I think we had a pretty successful one here today. We got a chance to wander around, talk a little bit about some of the other things that we've talked about in the past, and see some of the work that's being done at Magic Kingdom. Oh, I just forgot just now that we didn't check out the Haunted Mansion merchandise. I think we're gonna have to come back. It's just the way it is. Perfect excuse to come back. But of course, I'd love to know what you guys have to say about all the things that we saw today. I think the only thing that I want to add to today's discussion is that I wish there was a little bit more for Cool Kids Summer here at Magic Kingdom. I know why that's not the case, because there's so much going on at Magic Kingdom anyway, you know, especially for kids, but I would have loved for this to be a little bit more special. Just didn't feel like it to me. So until next time, have a fantastic rest of your day, and see you guys soon. Bye.